lipids, otherwise known as fats, in the diet. Does everyone remember in Lesson 2 how we talked about how important fats were? And even though just saying the word fat almost conjures up immediate negative feelings because you've been programmed through your TV and your radio to believe that fat is bad for you. We have already gone through how important fat is to the functioning of your body, and that most of you, the health goals that you have, fat meets those needs. So usually the thing that you're most afraid of is the thing that's going to solve your problem. It's going to give your body the tools and resources it needs to fix itself. So when we want to talk about what fats we want to supplement with, we must look at, again, what does the body tell us about essential fats? Which fats can it not assimilate or synthesize on its own? What fats have to be taken in by the diet? Those are the only fats you should be concerned about supplementing, ever. So right here, linoleic acid, otherwise known as LA, which is an omega-6 fatty acid, and alpha-linolenic acid, omega-3. All other fatty acids are derived from these two main sources. So EPA, DHA, GLA, all of those different kinds of fatty acids all are made in your body from these two parent sources. And your body cannot synthesize these on its own. It can't make LA or ALA. So when we look at fatty acids, only 8% or less, and it's normally between 1 to 5%, of the parent form of omegas are converted into any type of derivative. Okay, hold on now. So we're talking about these essential nutrients, and when you take it into your body does not convert those two parents down very often. A very, very small portion of these parent lipids, these essential fatty acids, only a very small amount of them are actually turned into a different type of fatty acid for use in the body. Now, this is where a lot of you have heard all kinds of different stuff, all kinds of different propaganda from all the different types of industries. Let me try to touch on it real quick because it's pretty simple. The main thing that we heard in the clinical side of things when people were trying to convince us that fish oil was the best possible supplement that you could take, it was because the body can't make enough EPA and DHA for what it needs. This was the constant argument that was coming out of the research that was being done. The problem with that thought process is you are immediately assuming that the body is somehow broken or unable to do something instead of asking what the body wants. And when we look at essential fatty acids, the body doesn't want more than that. It's making a small amount of derivatives for a reason. It's not because EPA and DHA aren't important. They obviously have importance in the body. They're present. Can we give it that? If it's present, obviously it's got a job. But if the body's only making a certain amount of it, and when you look at the biology of a cell, you don't find a bunch of EPA and DHA in a cell. You find these, ALA and LA. You find these parents in the cells. So if your body can't synthesize it, but yet you need it to produce cells and to enhance cellular function, these are the only two that you ever need to be concerned about when you're supplementing with fatty acids, or you're taking an EFA supplement. So consider the source when it comes to the fatty acids. Remember when we talked about sourcing of food? Fatty acids are absolutely 100% important when it comes to the source, because fatty acids are the most compromised nutritional factor in our food supply today. Anyone ever heard of trans fats? Hydrogenated oils? Everyone's talking about how trans fats are so bad for you. This is the one consensus there is in science about fat. This is the one thing everyone agrees on, that an artificially or a chemically hydrogenated fat molecule will absolutely 100% contribute to arterial damage and heart disease. There is no doubt about that. We have complete consensus on that. But if you take a fatty acid, an ALA or an LA fatty acid, and you process it down, they turn those fatty acids into trans fats. They take a whole fat like this, and they change the molecular structure of it. They change the bonds on the actual molecule. They actually twist so that the atom bonds are on opposite sides of each other instead of double bonded right next to each other like they're supposed to be. So what do you think happens when a twisted fat molecule gets into a cell? It is not good news. And that is why trans fats have been proven over and over again to be damaging to the human body. Because when we chemically hydrogenate these oils, it changes everything. Okay? So consider the source and realize, again, that fatty acids make up a huge part of your body. So the sourcing is going to be getting your fatty acids from organically grown and organically derived oils. Okay? When we're talking about sourcing here, the actual process of pulling these oils out of plants is important as well. Because most of the cooking oils or the vegetable oils that are on the market today are chemically separated from their original source, from the nut or the plant that they're taken out of. And you have got to know if the fatty acid that you're supplementing, you have got to know how it came out of that seed or that plant. You've got to know that. And if it's not organic, you can almost guarantee that that seed or plant was grown with herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides that are going to be in your supplement. We have to consider where these sources come from. Okay? So, and this is another thing that you need to know as well. The number one supplement in the country is fish oil. And fish oil does not provide you with any of essential fatty acids. Can you believe that? The number one supplement on the planet, and most of you are probably on a fish oil supplement because you've been told by your cardiologist that you need to take it, or you've been told by your doctor that you need to take it. The problem with fish oil is it's not meeting the essential needs of your body. There's only two essential needs when it comes to fatty acids, and LA and ALA are it. It's that simple. There's no reason why you would want to supplement the derivatives that the body can make on its own. Let the body do its own thing. That usually gets us the best results, opposed to trying to impose our will on the body because we think we're smarter and be putting in high amounts of these derivatives that your body would never make in the first place. In an observational study where fish oil, high amounts of EPA and DHA were given to study participants, there was no significant increase in EPA and DHA in their tissues. Do you know what that means? They were being given high amounts of EPA and DHA daily. And after 30 days, they were being tested in their tissues. It didn't increase their EPA and DHA levels at all. What's the only obvious explanation for that? Out. Not needed, gone. Toast. You need to look at the parent sources because the body will break down the parent and make whatever it needs to. Those two are the main ones. So these supplements, as I said before, always need to be made from organic sources, from whole food sources. These are the vegetable-sourced fatty acids. These are where you get your LA and your ALA. This list right here. Okay? And again, the reason we want them to be organic is because we want them to be low in oxygenation. We want to be low in damage. The reading that they do on those, the testing they do is called peroxidase levels. And peroxidase is created when there's high levels of damage in the fat. Okay? As I've done a lot of reading in the literature and things like this, you tend to kind of move away from common sense and be so stuck on the data and the observations and all of this. I'm not quite sure where we got so off track as to think that the fat from a fish would be so vital to our body. When's the last time y'all lived a year in water? Or more than a year. Fish have different physiological needs than human beings. The reason that they have such high levels of EPA and DHA in their body is because they need thin blood. And when you take those types of supplements, it thins your blood. It's one of the things, if you look at the side effects of the only pharmaceutical or prescription omega-3 fish oil that's on the marketplace today, one of the side effects, it talks about bleeding. You need thin blood if you're in cold water. And I can promise most of you, at least as far as I know, you're not living the same life as a fish. Get your oils from the land. That's what physiology tells us we need. All right?